And you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. You know, how can you now speak the truth and when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're an honest scum.
You always have to defend yourself, Melania Trump said, her voice steady but resolute. I'm in court now because they've accused me of things I've never done. They wrote lies, and I won't let that go. What followed was a bombshell, a $100 million lawsuit that rocked daytime television. Melania's legal strike was aimed squarely at The View, accusing them of going far beyond criticism and into outright defamation. The show's foundation shook, and Joe Rogan, he dove in immediately, tearing into the chaos with his signature blunt commentary. This isn't just another celebrity squabble. It's a full-blown courtroom battle featuring high-powered names, bruised reputations, and serious money on the line. At the center of it all is Sunny Hostin, now under siege, caught between Melania's legal team and Rogan's scorched earth analysis. This isn't just TV anymore. According to Melania's lawsuit, the show didn't express opinions. It launched a personal attack. And Melania? She's not staying silent. She's fighting back with full legal firepower.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She's destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
She injected skin color into a fairly generic behavior seen in all spouses.
So it sparked it all. A segment so ruthless. It made headlines almost instantly. The host didn't stop at fashion critiques or light jabs. They tore into Melania's appearance, mocked her style, and even took aim at her marriage to Donald Trump with wild, unfounded claims. The backlash was immediate. Living rooms went quiet. Gasps replaced laughter. Critics took sides and chaos erupted. But Melania's legal team didn't flinch. They struck fast and hard, dropping a lawsuit that stopped the noise cold and forced the nation to pay attention.
Melania Trump is furious. The woman who wants to be first lady is taking on several media outlets that she says printed false reports about her personal life. Now Melania is threatening to sue. Les Trent has the latest.
Hostin's obsession with race gets thrown back in her face. Today's video comes to us from Sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice.
Joe Rogan, meanwhile, wasn't about to let it slide. He jumped in headfirst, gleefully stoking the flames. With his usual unfiltered tone, Rogan called The View a shallow circus more obsessed with ratings than reality. He reminded everyone that the same hosts once cozied up to the Trumps, smiling for cameras, laughing at parties, basking in the glow. But now, they've flipped the script, Rogan said. It's not about conversation, it's about chaos. He accused the show of abandoning honesty for applause and trading truth for made-for-TV takedown.
Well, turns out she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from Europe. Here's how she took the news. Roll it.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was my
my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
His words weren't just sharp, they were explosive. Social media lit up within minutes. Clips of Rogan's tirade went viral before producers could even respond. But the biggest surprise? Melania didn't issue a vague statement or send out a PR team. She went to court. Her legal move stunned the entertainment world and flipped the script on the usual daytime drama. Rogan landed one more brutal jab. If you average the IQs of the View hosts, he quipped, you'd be lucky to hit triple digits. The internet erupted. Fans cheered. Critics raged. And Sunny Hostin, normally quick with a comeback, was left speechless. This wasn't a ratings stunt. This was a legal war that could cost everything.
How are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information. I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of others.
Here's the twist. Melania's lawsuit isn't just aimed at one person. It targets the entire panel of The View. She accuses them of intentionally crafting a cruel and misleading narrative to humiliate her in front of millions. The courtroom battle is no longer theoretical, it's real. And this time, no witty on-air banter or slick damage control can shield the host from what's coming. Joe Rogan isn't holding back, either. He's not throwing jabs. He's going for knockout, ripping away the glossy surface to reveal what he calls a calculated smear campaign. According to Rogan, this is a fallout when television forgets the difference between genuine commentary and personal attacks. When hosts stop being journalists and start acting like courtroom clowns fueled by gossip, he says, this is what happens.
And yeah, and then she bashes the company like they don't pay their workers.
Right.
You know, that's like, so she's still like one of them, you know, she's one of them. Yeah, but I give him extra money. She's so sweet, that Sunny. Paul, do you catch The View very often? Is it on your DVR?
Well, it's The View into what? Domestic hell?
Yeah.
I mean, what exactly is it a view into? And who came up with the names, if you think about it?
Melania's lawsuit doesn't pull any punches. She's not simply claiming she was offended. She's alleging targeted public damage. The legal documents detail a coordinated effort to mock her appearance, insult her marriage, and drag her tenure as First Lady through the mud. Rogan is fully backing her claims, launching verbal firebombs in her defense. He argues that The View didn't stand for anything. They tore down a public figure for applause and ratings. He blasted the host for turning personal cruelty into prime-time entertainment, all while hiding behind studio lights and audience laughter. What makes this even more explosive? Legal analysts are now warning. If Melania wins, it won't just be a personal victory. It could trigger a seismic shift in what daytime shows can legally say on air.
Fact of life. Interesting change of tune. For more, we go to our chief Sunny Hostin correspondent for a reaction.
Rogan didn't tiptoe around the issue. He slammed his point home like a judge with a gavel. He called this lawsuit the wake-up call Hollywood's been trying to ignore. You can't keep tearing people down for ratings and expect to walk away clean, he said. And the drama is far from over. As the courtroom storm brews, Rogan's keeping the pressure on. He says this case isn't about Melania being thin-skinned. It's about drawing a line. It's about forcing loudmouth hosts to finally face consequences for going too far. Sunny Hostin, once basking in applause, now finds herself under a very different spotlight. The kind that comes with legal threats and depositions, not flattering camera angles and makeup crews.
Maybe one day when we finally strip away this phony race war, it will finally expose this elite mentality. And we'll find out Sunny is just like Marie Antoinette, except she says, let me eat cake.
Back in his studio, Rogan is on the offensive. His message is blunt. If you throw rocks on national TV, don't be surprised when one comes back with a judge's stamp on it. And here's the part that really stings. This entire fiasco could have been avoided if the host had chosen professionalism over performance, respect over ridicule, they wouldn't be staring down a $100 million legal cannon. Melania's lawsuit didn't just shake The View. It sent shockwaves across the television industry. Suddenly, the snark-fueled, headline-chasing shows are realizing the rules may have just changed. Melania Trump isn't just defending her name. She's throwing down a challenge to the media world. No more lazy insults. No more smug takedowns disguised as commentary. Her message is loud and clear. Public figures are not punching bag for daytime ratings. And Hollywood? It's feeling the impact where it hurts most.
It's about The View. It's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Here, let's look at this political oddity. It really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase that. But
behind the scenes, panic has set in. Producers are combing through years of archive footage. Legal teams are rewriting future scripts. And one terrifying question echoes across studio walls. Did we cross the line too? Because if Melania wins, it could reset everything TV networks thought they could get away with. And in the eye of this media storm, Joe Rogan, grinning, unfiltered and relentless. He's torching The View, calling it outrage theater wearing a journalist costume. He mocked their tone, their tactics, and their excuses. Then came the viral quote that detonated across social media. Trashing someone who's not even in the room? That's not bold. That's cowardice in full makeup. That line spread like wildfire, flooding feeds, topping trend lists, and sending shockwaves to the industry.
then I blame women. White women in particular.
About time.
Right, Sunny?
I think that women, white women in particular, want to protect the patriarchy here because it's to their benefit. Yeah. They want to make sure that their husbands do well. They want to make sure that their sons do well. They want to make sure that their children do well. And they want to make sure that they do well. Most of the women in some of these studies are married white women, and they do fall in line with what their husbands are doing, how their husbands are voting.
Take that, people who say she's racist. You forget that she's also sexist.
Rogan's fans erupted with praise, hailing it the takedown of the year. But his critics fired back just as hard, calling him reckless, cruel, and out of control. The internet became a war zone of opinion, debate, and outrage. Meanwhile, Sunny Hostin stayed silent. No fiery comebacks. No clever rebuttals. Just mounting pressure behind closed doors, lawyers, crisis meetings, and a mountain of PR damage control. And that silence, it spoke volumes. Rogan wasn't done. He reminded everyone that The View has a history of this, lobbing personal attacks, then hiding behind audience applause. You can't play comedian 1 minute and serious journalist the next, Rogan snapped. Pick a lane. Melania's lawsuit lays it bare. Cheap shots at her marriage, mockery of her time as First Lady, and personal digs at her character. This wasn't commentary. It was character assassination, wrapped in daytime banter and disguised as casual conversation. One host mocked her holiday decorations. Another made a cutting remark about her personal life. One even questioned her love for her husband. These weren't throwaway jokes. They were knives, carefully disguised as punchlines.
Toiletries, you could get fire logs. You know those big bounty towels you don't want to carry?
Those from Costco.
Somebody else goes.
Fire logs? She had to tell the audience that she tips big because even she knows she sounds insufferable.
But this time, Melania didn't fire back with a tweet. She fired with force. A $100 million lawsuit that hit the media like an earthquake. And Rogan? He's on the sidelines cheering, applauding what he calls a precision strike against media arrogance. This isn't just backlash, it's overdue justice, he declared. Now networks everywhere are sweating. Legal teams are scouring tapes, terrified that one old segment might become their own $100 million nightmare. Rogan isn't pulling punches. He's pulling back the curtain, exposing what's behind the makeup and bright studio lights. With the trial looming, The View is facing a reckoning it can't laugh off or PR spin away. What used to be just another morning of hot takes is now a courtroom countdown with millions on the line.
This dame probably virtue signals on the toilet. But that's not the point here. While everybody else was trying to figure out how to survive as the government told us that breathing in public could kill us, Sunny was lolling around in her big house clicking on pictures of arugula while mixing Cocoa Puffs into her Haagen-Dazs.
Joe Rogan is still hammering the message. The View is a cautionary tale of media excess. They built an empire on smirks and snark, he growled, and now the bill has arrived. And Melania delivered herself. The panic behind the scenes is louder than any applause ever was. Staffers are scrambling. Lawyers are panicked. And the once confident hosts? Quieter than ever. And Melania? She's calm. Calculated. Ready? She didn't rant. She sued. She didn't go low. She went legal. Now one question lingers like smoke in a burned-out studio. Will this be the case that finally holds TV personalities accountable for their words? Rogan says yes. Sometimes justice doesn't trend. It lands in court. And this time, it's aiming straight at the spotlight.